Hi everybody, this is going to be a video about slope-intercept form and point-slope form. Slope-intercept form is a very helpful equation that we use when we are graphing linear equations. Lines, y equals mx plus b. M stands for the slope, and b stands for the y-intercept. In point-slope form, we don't use that same exact information. We use just any point, not specifically the y-intercept, any point and our slope. So point-slope form looks a little bit longer, but I promise it is not that difficult. x1, y1 is a point on my line, and m is your slope. So these are used in different scenarios when you're given different parts of the equation or different scenarios. So, for example, if you were told that you have $20 in your wallet and then you go to work and each hour you make $5. Well, $5 is your slope because that's your rate, $5 per hour. That will be your M. $20 is our starting point. Before you even work anything, you have $20. So we would write that 5x plus 20. So I'll give you another scenario. Each hour, you make $5. However, after 3 hours, you have $35 in your wallet. Different information. So I'm going to write my equation as y minus 35, plugging in that $35 for y equals still $5 an hour, still a $5 slope, and then I have x minus 3. Most of the time your independent variable, your x, is going to be time if you have that choice. Now you might be thinking, well, how are these really different? They're not. They're the same. And I'll show you how. I'm going to distribute this 5. I have y minus 35 equals 5x minus 15. Distributing our 5. I'm going to add 35 to both sides. And I get the same exact thing. I was given different information, but it still actually represents the same scenario. So it's easier to use slope-intercept form when you're given a slope and an intercept. If you're not given that intercept, then you can just use a point that you are given to write the equation. So let's look at an example. Pretend that's straight. So we want to write the equation of that line. So if I was asked to write the equation of this line, I could really do it either way. Because I actually know the y-intercept right here, it's at 2. And I can figure out my slope. Up 2 over 1. Up 2 over 1. So my slope is 2. My y-intercept is 2. So that's y equals 2x plus 2. I could also do this with point-slope form. This is the point negative 2, negative 2. Negative 2, negative 2, yep. So I have y minus the y value is equal to the slope, x minus the x value. Now, a negative negative becomes a positive. So here is formally how I would write this one. And I'm going to show you that this, what I have in blue, is the same exact thing as what I have in green. Now, this is technically just point-slope form. We can stop here if they ask us to write it in point-slope form, but I just wanted to show you that it's the same thing. So I'm going to distribute the two. I'm going to subtract 2 from both sides. And look, I have the same exact thing. Just a different way to do it. So on your homework the other night, I gave you a point and I gave you a slope. I asked you to write it in slope-intercept form. There was an issue with that though, because there was no b. To write it in y equals mx plus b, we usually just plug in the y-intercept wherever it crosses. But a y-intercept is always written 0, comma, the y value. That's not a y-intercept. But this is an x and this is a y. So I can write negative 3 equals 5 over 2 x plus b. 5 times 2 is 10, divided by 2 is 5. Subtracting 5 from both sides gives me a b of negative 8. So writing my equation is y equals 5 halves x minus 8. That's one way to do it. But I have a point and a slope, so I can also write this in point-slope form. Y minus my y value is equal to the slope, x minus the x value. Y plus 3 is equal to 5 over 2 x minus 2. Technically right now, these are the same exact thing. They're equal. They look different, but I'm going to show you right now that they're not. They're not different. They're the same exact thing. I'm going to distribute that 5 over 2. 5 halves times negative 2 is 5 times negative 2, negative 10, divided by 2. Subtract 3 from both sides. They're the same exact thing. When you're asked for slope-intercept form, you have to find b. That's part of it. If they don't give you b, you gotta do the work to find it. There are 2 ways you can do it. You can plug in x and y, solve for b, or you can use point-slope form, get y by itself. If they ask you for point-slope form, you can actually use the y-intercept as well. I'll show you that. So if they tell you 0, 5 is a point with a slope of half, you can write that in y equals mx plus b. How do I know that that 5 is a b? Because it's 0, 5. Think about it graphically. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That's my y-intercept. I can write y equals 1 half x plus b. That's one way to do it. I can write this actually in point-slope form too. Y minus my y value is equal to my slope, x minus my x value. What's x minus 0? Just x. Add 5 to both sides. It's the same thing. So it just depends on what you're given, the way that's easier to write it. You can technically do every single problem either way. If they ask you for point-slope form, this is what they want. They want to be able to look at this and say, the point is half, the slope is 0, 5. I said that exactly opposite. The slope is a half, the point is 0, 5. Here, they want you to say the slope is a half, the y-intercept is 5. technically you were saying the same thing on this example. But back here, on this one, you can't see the y-intercept right from what I have over here in point-slope form. You don't know what the y-intercept is. You know that the point is -2, -2, and you know that your slope is 2. Here you can point out slope is 2, y-intercept is 2. Hope that cleared up some things for you.